Hey, good morning, and welcome to another week, another edition of Real Talk with Carl and Charlene. And we got amazing guests today. I know, yes, Carl, yes, you say every week, absolutely, because that's all we do on here is put amazing guests. So we're going to talk about your business today, not the fact that you got one, not the fact that it may be running okay, but we're going to go and dive into is it being disorganized, making you broke? You running your business in a disorganized fashion and you're not getting the things done that can prepare you, or you don't even have the people in place that can get you over the hump, get you productive, get people to come in and viewing you, seeing in from you, those kind of things. We're going to touch on all of it. This real talk as usual. We're going to have it. We're going to kick it off live. I got a very special guest on today, and she's going to be sharing some nuggets with us. She's going to be dropping down. Also, I got my co-host coming to the stage. Everybody that's on the live this morning, whether it's on the live or the replay, wants you to put in the comment section where you're tuning in from. You know, this is a global show. We real talk for the world, and we want to know where you're tuning in from. And also drop in the comments anything that suggestions, topics, or even questions that you might have concerning what we're going to talk about today, because we're going to dive into it and we're going to get into it like no other time. Let's go. All right, I got my co-host coming to the street. Come on, Charlene, where you at? Join me. What's going
Hey,
on?
what's going on, Carl? Thank you. Thank you for that lovely intro, as always. Hello,
Thank you.
everybody. What's going on? And yes, I cannot wait. Let's introduce her now. Let's get Aviance
Yes,
in here. Let
yes.
her let her show who she is, her brilliance. Come on, girl. Come
Absolutely.
on
Come
in.
on, shine. Come on, shine.
Y'all. Hey,
Sunshine on
glad to be
Tuesday.
here. Glad to be here. I'm glad to be
Great.
here. Appreciate you guys bringing me on.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to give some praises to this young woman. I've known Aviance for a hell of a long time, and just to see you bloom and not only are you launching out into all these different adventures, and you sing, you do graphics, you do website, you do it all, child. So I want people to also understand the not just the creative side of you, but the business organizational side of you, which allows you to be an amazing online business manager. So let's dive a little into your background, who Aviance is, and what got Aviance started into the world of OBM, online business management.
Well, let's take it back. I feel like what got me kind of started, surprisingly, is my experience at Apple when I had a job there, and I kind of got my first experience seeing, how a business is doing things, the ins and outs, and the day-to-day operation of their business. And that, of course, sparked other things along the way, which I ended up going to school for business. I got a music business degree and entertainment business degree. So that really also helped me to fall in love a lot more with business. Yes, music is definitely my first love, but I found another passion in business. So over the years as well, I've also done virtual assistant work. So again, more so firsthand working with CEOs, entrepreneurs, and helping them with their day-to-day operations and different tasks that they need to take off their plate to help leave up, to leave room for more of their more things that they can work on that don't take away from so much of their time, and helping their business to grow. So after doing that for a couple of years, I realized with the business degrees and then the experience that I've had with working so closely with CEOs and entrepreneurs, I figured, okay, you know what? This is an opportunity for me to start helping people that are, in places in their business where they've reached a plateau. They've been doing this for a while. They're wearing so many hats. They have revenue coming in and their business is doing well, but they feel like they've reached a point where it's not growing. And they feel overwhelmed. They have too many things that they're doing at one time. Maybe their business strategy is not together. It could be maybe their project management and their CRM, maybe their tools are not, their systems are not like all together as they should be. And that's where I come in. and I help with putting together the strategy, seeing what you need from in your business, what's lacking, what needs to be improved, and then we put together a strategy together. We spend a lot of time together, putting everything together, organizing, finding people that can assist, other virtual assistants. Maybe you need a graphic designer, maybe you need someone to edit your podcast, anything of that sort. That's what I come in to do and help, so that you don't have to spend so much time just wearing so many hats. Like you're only one person. And even the biggest companies eventually have to start delegating and let other people take the reins and start doing their part to make your business run. So
Yes, and you're so true at that because and you're amazing at what you do because when you're running a business, you're always so involved and you're so into what you are doing and what you're supposed to do that you also don't really get a chance to step back a little bit, take a breather, and then see what's working, what's not working, why it's failing, and then adjust. So a lot of times, what I've noticed, especially having you on my team, because you're, I couldn't pass that up. Um, it allowed me to really see and evaluate how am I doing my business and how can I improve so I can get the support, because it's not always about we can't afford support, it's how are we operating now that's going to allow us to get the support that we need. So it's working in that mindset, and you're really good at keeping me positive, because when things get rough, I was about to say things. When things get rough,
Yeah, things is getting rough.
right.
you start to detract from and kind of go into a shell. That, at least for me, that's what I noticed. I start to go into a shell to try to say, okay, this isn't working. I don't know what's working. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. So to have someone like you as an OBM to be on that side, but you're still there to make sure that I'm successful. To say, you know what, I need you to delegate. One, two, three, and four can be with me. So you
Exactly.
can do five, six, and seven. I need you to give that to me. Let me handle it. Let me take that off your hands. So what, even though those are my shortcomings, and I'm still working through them. But what has been some of the pushback and negative feelings that you have gotten from, and the hesitation you have gotten from clients or even prospects when you've been saying, hey, um, you need to delegate, you need me on your team, and you've been getting that pushback to say, I can do it, I can swing it. Like what has been some of the commonalities you've noticed to stop people?
So you are definitely right about the pushback. There are some people, that I've worked with that it just comes so easily. We jump right in, and they know exactly what they need help with. They know that they need this off their plate, and we can just get the ball rolling, and there's no delay. But then there's some, they know they need help, they want the help, they reach out, but they're still not delegating. They're still not letting go. And the most I can do in those type of situations is really just try to keep pushing them, try to communicate, try to find different ways to help them to delegate. And there's only so much you can do after a while, because I've come across plenty of customers and clients that it just didn't work out. I tried my hardest. I tried everything I could to get them to come communicate with me so that I can help them, to relieve some of that stress. But you have to also be willing to let go. Your corporation, whatever business you want to run, whatever dream you have for your business, if you want to see it at a certain level, you have to be willing to let go of some of those jobs that you're trying to do yourself,
Mm.
because you can't do every single job. I mean, to the biggest CEO, they had to let founder, CEO, whatever, they have to let people in to help them run their business. Otherwise, they would be overwhelmed, and it probably would definitely fail. There's a lot of companies that without hundreds of hands involved,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be what it is today. I
Fact.
was a perfect example of that. I contributed. My job there helped to contribute to their growth and success. I may have been one person out of hundreds, but I contributed. So that's the thing about people who, have to learn how to delegate. You want to take it to a certain level. You got to be willing to, communicate with people who are trying to help you and work with you to make your dream happen.
I love that. I love
I
that.
like that
Carl.
too. I was thinking about as you were saying that. I think about the first thing came to mind to me was actually that the mindset. Most individuals that start businesses, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, things of that area, they've come from a small beginning, and a lot of the times it is their ideas, it is their passions, it is their loves. So they get to a point of cultivation, and it becomes sort of, as I'm not a woman, but becomes a sort of the baby being born. I can remember when my kids were born, my wife was kind of like clingy with them in the beginning, and it wasn't so fact that she didn't trust me. I'm the dad, but I think it's the essence of that nurturing that you have for what you've conceived, and that is your business. And I think, and I'm speaking that actually personally as well. Sometimes you get to the avenues of like, okay, this is my vision for that, and I know that. So I want to be the one that does that. And it doesn't take anything from the individual that started, founder, CEO, whatever your title may be, to seek out for that. And it's something that definitely I'm learning as well, because I'm very talented in a lot of things. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs feel that they are, else they wouldn't have made that leap. But when you start getting into the process of like, just for me, overwhelming with the appointments and sitting down and making content, and all of those things are easy to do as you flow to do. But when there becomes a demand, and then when there becomes people wanting that, and when there become people wanting your time, it takes a, how do you really go about with people like that? And I'll just say this, really asking for myself, how do those release mechanisms come into play, or how do you advise people on those kind of mechanisms to say that it's okay to release some of this that you're doing, in essence, if you want to see your company grow?
Right. Well, for one, speaking on what you said about people having a vision, before you bring anybody on board, I think you should definitely have a clear idea of what your vision is. Have it written down. That's also supposed to be in your business plan. That's what your mission statement is. Those are the things that if you have those things together, bringing them on board will be much easier because then they'll have an idea of what you're trying to achieve. So then when you go into more detail, it all makes sense. So one of the things I definitely recommend when you're trying to delegate is to sit down, go over all the things that you need to do. Just imagine it for yourself. Hey, these are the things I need to do for my business. Just make a full list. Then after you make a full list, go through each one and see what you can let go. Like really sit down and think about, hey, is this something I know I can do, but is this something I can get to someone else? Because like you said, content creation, a lot of those things are not hard to do, but it's time consuming. You know how to edit your own videos and your podcast, great, but it's time consuming. There's other things you could be doing for your business and give that to someone else. So that's one thing I definitely recommend when working with someone is to put together that list. You may not think it's important, you may not think it won't help, but visually it'll help you to see what you need to do and what you can possibly give away.
I love that because you pretty much answered Claire's question because she was leading to that same thing. How would you recommend that someone really evaluates what they need to delegate? And one thing that I've heard a lot lately is delegate what's not generating you money. So if it's not a something or a process or a client facing opportunity that will actually generate you, get you in front of decision makers, get you in front of people who are going to say yes and sign a check. If it's not doing something to elevate your brand visibility, so if you're not doing a video to help get yourself out there, if you're not doing anything like that, collaboration, stuff like that, delegate those type of things. So any kind of office task, any task that, like Aviance said, videos, because Carl and I are going through that right now. We're trying our best to keep up, and then we're also doing the shows. We're making sure the shows are set up. We're making sure people are organized and are on certain days, and we get the information out on time and things like that. So as we're growing, we're also writing down, okay, we can delegate this, we can delegate this, so we can put that in place. And I had a talk with you where we're actually starting the search
Yep.
for the people who can start to be part of that team, and help in both different aspects. So one thing, and I just wanted to also mention Carla. Carla said something that's also great about there's a huge difference between working on your business and working in it. And I've heard a great comment, I want to say this Saturday, because I was part of VIP Day, where the comment was made that we start to, as business owners, we start to become our employees. We start to work as though we are the employee because
Yep.
we have a mindset that's not allowing us to think as a CEO, think as a person who's actually at the forefront of the company to bring it forward, rather than we're the ones pushing it from the back, trying to get it out there. Um, so I wanted to ask, with all that we're going through, how would you see someone who can really take it to the next level, start to build a relationship with you, and be clear about what they need from you and your fellow OBMs, because there's a myth, there's a disconnect or a misunderstanding between what is an OBM, what is a VA, what is a freelancer. Can you break down just a few, maybe the top three myths and confusions that people have between the three?
Well, to start, one of the biggest confusions between an online business manager and a VA is people assume that they have the same tasks, that they do the same things, that they're pretty much similar but have just different titles. And even though there are some tasks that online business managers can do that VAs can do as well, they spend more time actually managing than like actually spending time on just individual tasks alone. So they help you manage your any projects. If you have a team, they help you to manage the team. If you need to recruit people, they help you to recruit people. If you need help with your business strategy and marketing, they help you with those things. So they would be the person that your VA, if you had one or multiple, would communicate with. That's the person they would talk to in order to find out what your needs are, being that I would be the one in direct communication with you. So that's like, again, that's one of the biggest things. Like, so again, for example, a VA, they'll be more responsible for like your schedule, making sure you get to your appointments, making sure that you don't miss anything. But the business manager will be the person that says, hey, Charlene has this meeting on so and so date, can you go ahead and schedule this for her? Hey, Charlene has this event she needs to go to, can you go ahead and get this set up? Those type of things. That's what I would be doing for you, so that you wouldn't have to manage any of that. You can just focus on being the brand and the major things of your business to help it grow.
Yeah, when you're looking at what you were thinking about, I was just thinking about, and it may not be in this, and let me know if I'm on track with this. When I think about the VA, I guess the separation is definitely clear to me, but it's not always clear to everyone. But when I think about the OBM, I'm thinking in the brains corporation wise of maybe my HR department that kind of like get all of those things necessary for me to complete my mission. And in that is just all of those things that you covered. How hard is it really in the essence of, because like there are gems out there such as yourself that are great at what they do, and so many others that's distractions. And that's the term that I'll use concerning them. When they want to get involved in what you're doing, they see, we pushing, and Charlene brought in a great point. Like we both individually have tremendously busy lives doing things. So now that we've kind of like put that together and kind of married those business lives, now it's even more point. How do we get to the point of the weeding out process or even the interviewing process of those individuals? Though we know we really needing the help. It's sort of like you need something expensive, but you're going to stop at the dollar store because they're right there.
Right.
We need the help, but how do we get point to pack with the right questions to ask, the interviews, the tactics? What do you propose that for people that are struggling with that part of it? What do they do in that?
Well, that's another thing that I would definitely assist with, again, when it comes to like teams and recruiting. Um, One of the strategies we would come up together is based on your business and what you need from the person that you're requesting to help. We would sit down and either do research or come up with the questions together, so that we can see best what you definitely need. Because you can go online all day and find interview questions, but at the end of the day, you would still need to tailor them to your business and your business needs to find the right person. So again, that's something we would all have to put together before we even start the process of doing the interviews. Now we can go ahead and start looking, but if you really want to get an idea of the type of person you want, again, same thing, like the interview questions, put together a profile of the type of person you're looking for. What do you want them to be able to do? What kind of background do you want them to have? Because then if you have that template, a guide of what you're looking for, to make it easier when you're looking for those people during the interview process as well.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I love
Good
that.
stuff.
So, what has been as you see people are, really trying to get it together, especially after last year, a lot of people just started to jump into business. What has been one of the, I want to say, stopgaps that have really slowed down them progressing, other than them just not being willing to give up tasks? What has been another hard stopgap for them? Something that's really broken down any part of, and you could see it a mile away, like this is about to be a train wreck. What has been what you've noticed, especially those who just jumped into business? Because you also mentioned about missions and vision and values and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've started to really hone in on that because we've lost that along the way because people have been so hungry. We've
Mm-hmm.
lost the fact that you still need a business plan. You still need a plan to kick off everything else. So what's been one of the things that you've noticed?
And honestly, you said it, a business plan. Um,
Mm.
One of the things that I did my master's degree program was the whole year, every class, every course was directly focusing on a specific part of the business plan that you needed to work on. So by the end of the year, when I presented my business plan, I had a full business plan. It was put together. It was from start to finish. Now, of course, it doesn't take a year to put together a business plan. That was just my degree program, but it taught me how important that actually is. And with the boom and rise of social media, a lot of people are starting businesses, especially online, and there's no business plan. It's there's no guide, nothing to follow, to kind of keep you on track if you do fall off the tracks a little bit. Just seeing what you want for your business, how your business will make money, all these things. That business plan is extremely important, and I think it's like you said, it's gotten lost. A lot of people don't really think those things are important, but they are very important, and they make a huge difference in how you run your business. It shows how serious you are because you sat down and took the time out to really, nurture your baby. That's important. So again, business plan. It's one of the biggest things I've seen that a lot of people are not, taking serious. And then when you start with working with them, they're all over the place. There's nothing there. Like there's just, they don't know what they want to do. They want to do this, but they don't know. It's just a lot. You know what I'm saying? So having that business plan kind of gives your OBM a starting point of what you are trying to achieve with your business.
I love that. I'm not sure we Carl internet, but while he gets back on, we're gonna keep moving. But one thing that I would say is when it does come to bringing someone on and saying, okay, you know what, I need someone to help me hire.
Mhm.
What would you start looking for when you're actually when you're helping a business owner look for their VA, look for someone to hopefully become a staff member? What are some of the key tips and strategies you can help out with in terms of that?
Well, I would look at experience and preferably testimonials, maybe some feedback from people that they've worked with previously, or even projects that you've seen that they've worked on as well with other people, because those things will kind of give you an idea of their work, how they work, the people they've worked with, what they have to say. Getting those things, especially feedback from real people,
Mm,
because it's very easy for people these days to pretend that they are a certain person,
yeah,
and not having that feedback really can be detrimental if you end up working with someone who ends up not really being the person they claim to be. They're not helping you with your business. It may be maybe they're a video editor, but then you get your video back and it's just a hot mess. You know what I'm saying? So having that vetting process of people saying, hey, I've worked with them before and their video editing is amazing. Here's a video of my own that you can see that they did. Having those things will make you feel more comfortable and confident in the people that you're choosing.
So you are a proponent of making sure they can get those testimonials.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's important because you want to make sure that you're getting, what you're expecting or hoping to get,
very true, very true. And so, with that, I wanted to have you tell the people what are some steps when they're actually starting to work with the OBM. What should they have ready? Besides the business plan, what should they have ready before they even look at hiring an OBM so they know that they're ready?
Have an idea of where you're falling short. A lot of times, you'll know if you're not marketing your business enough. You'll know if, your manage how you manage all your projects and your business. You'll know if that setup, that system is not working or if it needs improvement. You'll know, because you'll see things are not working in the way that you want them to. So if you take the time to really evaluate, okay, this is what's not working. I have this tool, but I don't know if it's set up correctly, if there's a better way to set it up. Have questions ready, have all the things that you really, really want to fix and improve ready, because then when we have that conversation, it'll be easier for me to see, what needs to be worked on versus, you just coming to me and saying, hey, I need help, but then you don't know what you need help with. Now I have to go through the process of reviewing everything of your business and seeing for myself what can be fixed, what can be improved. But if you already have an idea, that narrows down a lot of extra work. And then if there's extra stuff along the way that we missed, we'll be able to catch it. At least we got all the major meat and potatoes all out of the way. So
Oh, because they were making noise out the outside. Sorry. So would it be poignant for people to one not just have that together, have that list of what they need to get done together, but also what's more important. So then you can kind of categorize what do you tackle first. Because
right.
I know, especially as a creative, you get all these ideas and you want to execute, but
Yeah.
you should it be we should figure out what's the first thing we want to tackle first, and then you can help us break things down.
Yes, prioritizing is still important as well because somebody might come in and they may need help with their CRM so that they can organize that. And another person might come in and say, hey, I'm just not, my business is not being marketed properly. I'm not really good at that. So everybody's prioritized needs are going to be different. So that's why it's important to really see what you really need help with first immediately, and then we'll go down the line of all the other things that we can improve.
Gotcha. Because I've seen so many people who've just been disorganized, and that's what really led them to not being able to build revenue. Because it's one thing when you're pushing out something for like a quick return, or you're doing like a quick sale, and you're getting that flush of money in. That's great, but then you're not able to sustain it. So
Nope.
with that, what's a great tip that you've seen with your successful clients that has really allowed them to allow you to shine in your greatness, but allow them to be the forefront, the star of their businesses?
I know a lot of things are being repeated, but one of the biggest things I've always seen that helped them out was delegation. If you're not going to give anything to anybody, you will continue to be overwhelmed. You will continue to be unorganized. You can be the most organized person. When you have that many hats, things will become unorganized very quickly, because you're trying to keep up with too many jobs. You're like you said earlier, people are playing employees. Typically when you start out your business, most people, unless you just have a large capital, a large startup capital, then to hire a bunch of people off the bat, you're doing all the work initially. So it's hard to transition from employee hat, CEO hat to just CEO hat. It's hard for some people. So again, you have to delegate. You have to start letting go. You have to say, you know what? I know I can do these things, but I'm only one person and I can't do it all alone. I cannot see my dream come to life in the way I want without letting go. I'm sorry, Disney would not be what it is. Apple wouldn't be what it is. Amazon wouldn't be what it is if they didn't have people helping, if they didn't have all of those jobs delegated.
Let
And
it go. The
yes, let
Elsa.
it go for real.
The
Because
Elsa.
what do you say about micromanagers? Because I've noticed that too. There are people who will hire, they'll hire a coach, they'll hire a graphic artist, a web developer, they'll hire an OBM, but then they're micromanaging because they feel they know what your job should be, that now they're going to tell you what you should do, even though you're the expert. So how do you really handle a micromanaging client?
The best way I handle them is, just letting them know straight up, hey, I am here to help. I know that you feel like you can do everybody's job. There's nothing wrong with feeling like, hey, I know exactly what I want. There's nothing wrong with that. And we can communicate in a way where you feel like you're getting what you need. But if it gets to a point where, you feel like you can do my job better than me, then we might need to consider, you know, because honestly, I can't do my job in the way that I need to if you're constantly over me and trying to do the job. Because then I have no purpose. Then I'm just there for no reason. And if you feel like I'm not doing the things in the way you envisioned, that's where a conversation comes in. This is where we sit down and talk, and we go over things again and see how I can assist you in the way that you envisioned. Because sometimes things like that happen, it happens. But if they're micromanaging too much, it will conflict, it will cause a problem, and it will be detrimental more to them than me, because you're already calling for help to begin with because you are already doing too much. And you have to be willing to say, you know what, let me calm down. If they're doing something that I'm not agreeing with, or I don't like, or I feel like can be done better, um, there's nothing wrong with communicating with that. It's just how it's communicated, and it's how we handle it and work on it together.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Because when you think about it, if they're going to be like that, and I've worked in corporate with that, and I'm sure you guys have probably have worked with some managers along the way of your guys' career as well. Uh, Everybody does not know how to manage. Just being the key word, and definitely even more so, people don't know how to manage people in their jobs, and then people are hired for a particular reason. And when you don't see those, the key thing of managers is not to micromanage, but maybe to educate or inform the individual that's doing that particular assignment that you have for them. And I think with us being entrepreneurs, sometimes we forget that before we were entrepreneurs, well, some of us anyway, I can't put everybody in the same boat, but before we were entrepreneurs, we were working for someone. I mean, not everybody was fortunate enough to just wake up and say, "Oh, I got dollars. I'm gonna make it rain. I'm gonna start a corporation."
Right.
Everybody wasn't working up like that. So when we think about the trenches and the things that we were probably put on us in corporate. Now that we are the CEOs, the entrepreneurs, the solopreneurs, or what have you, business owners, we have to go back to that and say, okay, this is what I don't want going on. And you make a great point in saying that when you look at it, you cried out for help. That's where I come in at. That's my vulnerability piece. You've already recognized and seen that there are avenues that are overwhelming to you. And also that I know what it does to me. It takes away my creative, innovative side. Like I can't generate the things that really while I started the business. So micromanaging is definitely a cancer.
Yeah.
I'm just going to call it what it is. It's a cancer and it needs to be removed because if I've reached out to you, and I know, and I feel confident with the person that I've got, the individual I got working on these things, trust has to be in play. And then, and things happen. You have had bosses or whatever say, we're not on the same page here. Let's get on it. That's where communication come in. Charlene talks about that all the time. That communication is definitely key to bring us back to the forefront of vision, mission. And I don't know if I missed that when I was going out. Please apologize. Man, I can't wait. Verizon, I'm calling you out right here on live TV. Calling you right out because you just got me looking like real out there. But anyway, since I've gotten that vent off, when you look at those things and you're saying that who was very like influential in you because you talk with a lot of knowledge, you talk with a lot of strength, and you talk with a place of accomplishment and experience. Who was kind of like that guiding influential person to you that was kind of like, because most people say mom. I don't know, dads don't get no props these days. Everybody, mom is mom is mom. But who was that that influential person that say, I'll be honest, you could do this?
Yeah, it's my mom. No, but it's truthfully, it's a combination of people. Definitely my mom for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like it's my dad, and I also feel like it's my husband. I feel like all of all of them have really contributed to my growth. They've been extremely supportive. They knowledgeable advice, anything to uplift me and make me feel good. They're always there. My mother, Charlene knows my mama. Um, she has been a huge, starting point for a lot of things that I've learned in over the course of my life. And if it wasn't for her, I feel like a lot of things I probably wouldn't have gotten into. Because she was always encouraging, always pushing, always saying, "Hey, whatever you want to do, go ahead, go for it." And she's very educated herself. So again, following in her footsteps as well with that. So yeah, that's my guidance. That's my starting point. Mainly her, and then my father. He's same thing. He's always motivating, always pushing, always saying, go after whatever it is you want to do." So
Yeah, that's definitely important. I kind of knew you was gonna say your mom. That's it's kind of like the fallback, and not necessarily fallback. That's probably like the most influential. I know dads are there; they're always encouraging, they're always pushing. But it's just something about the nature and the nurturing of the mom, and it just cultivates a lot of things in their children, and they can also be a blessing and a curse as well. And
right,
it's just so carefully in that frame of range of what you're doing in the midst of what you're doing and how you're being and all of the people that you got exposed to. What really is the pleasure that you take, or what are some of your pleasurable takeaways in working with such a wide variety of people? I know we go to these jobs and corporations or whatever, we're in departments, we're working with particular ones that kind of do the same thing we do, or maybe a little bit above what we do, but we don't really get that vast experience.
right,
With you being an OBM and like you may be managing like a baby Michael Jackson, and then you may be managing, another Jeff Bezos. How
right.
how how has that brought really pleasure to what you're doing?
Um, Honestly, it's really great. I love helping people, and it's given me the opportunity to come across a lot of great people that I probably would have never come across prior. Um, it's introduced me to some new skills, things that I never had before, being exposed to different industries. Um, it's definitely fun. I take a lot of interest in just business in general, so it's always fun for me to really dive into all these different types of industries. I've assisted in medical, I've assisted in the real estate industry, I've assisted in the cannabis industry. So I've assisted clients in multiple
Cannabis, CBD.
yeah, exactly. So it's been a pleasure because, like I said, I love meeting new people. So that's another bonus too, and new skills, new experiences, and getting to still do something I enjoy, which is helping people with their businesses. So
That is great. That is great, man. This has been a lovely conversation. I'll say this to all of our guests that we have on. We got to do part two. I guess people look at me and say, "Well, you keep doing part twos. We ain't gonna have a whole lot of people." But the information and to us and the reason that we really birthed this show was we wanted to get out tactical, influential, and definitely correct information about leveling up in your business. We
right,
did not just want to have another show with us chit chatting around talking, having guests on talking. We want it to be we want to set the bar high, and not to say that anyone else has done that. too. It's not that, but we want to set the bar high on what we brought to this platform. In essence of it is so many dynamic people on this platform. And yes, we got some that's in the hundred thousands of followers, but we've got some with hundreds of followers that are doing their thing. And I mean, they are being influential in their network and beyond. And we want to have this show to do that. I'm gonna ask you this question because I know we always talk about this. What have been, and I'm reading now. I get out to the side now. I'm reading for the second time Think and Grow Rich. Okay, I read it before. I read it when I was in no, my freshman year of college. I read it, and I was like, it was an assignment, so I read it. Of course, assignment in college. Yeah, I got an A. Okay, but
Right.
I didn't really digest this book until I got a business, and I started reading that. What's been the most influential book that you've read, and why was it influential to you?
Um, I feel like it's been a while since I've read this book. I definitely need to dive back in. But um, for me, I feel like it was 28 Laws of Power. I read about it when I was in my university, and it was really insightful because it's a lot of things that people don't think about. And when you're reading each law and you seeing, how it really can be applied and impact your life, it's really mind blowing. It's really, some of them were like, whoa, wow, people don't realize that they do this, or that they can do this and see the results that they want to see. So that was a really empowering book. I definitely want to read it again because I learned a lot when I was reading that one. So
Great, great.
Yeah, for me it was Who Moved My Cheese. You could thank your mama for that book.
yeah, that was a good one
Oh my
too.
cheese!
I was like, when she brought that up, I forgot. I think it was one of her retreats,
Oh
one of
my
her famous
gosh.
retreats. She was talking about this book, and I read it, and I'm like, who moved my cheese? And the more I read it, I started to understand it. But I got back into it because a friend of mine, Jiren, he was doing a challenge on Instagram. And part of it was us watching a video about Who Moved My Cheese, where they did like little graphics, and it was cute. And because I was in business now, it took on a whole different meaning. And it was more powerful to me to say, you know what, don't let what you think is going to happen, or it may look like a bad thing, but allow it to really transition and use it differently. Don't allow the negative parts of life to
Mhm.
bring you down. There's different paths. Just keep moving, just push forward. And that allowed me to really understand when people tell you, are you weathering the storm? That book had me really understand that question
Right.
and see how to really weather a storm, how to take something like Carl going on his website in the middle of the night, putting on photos that I didn't approve, and changing the outlook of it. so
I'm gonna drink
so
my coffee on that one. No coffee.
so it allowed me to take that experience and say, you know what, let me just change how we do this and move forward instead of just dwelling on the negative. It allowed you to really push forward. So I love that. That was my book, one of many, but that was my book right there. I would also say, for you, where can people really connect with you? Because I've been showcasing your LinkedIn, but where else, other than LinkedIn? Because you guys, please connect with her on LinkedIn. Make
Yes.
her one of your powerhouses, because Avi is one of the people. Aviance. Let me call Aviance.
Yes. Let me
Is
start
one
with
of
them
the
kid names.
people.
Put their
I
whole
know.
names out there.
Let me not do the nickname. Aviance is a person to have in your wheelhouse, to have as your team. But where else would you like people to connect with you?
Just so people don't forget, they will be able to connect with me on aviancesturgis.com. It's not active just yet. I'm redoing a lot of stuff and getting it rebooted, so it's under construction. But for the time being, if you do want to reach out to me, LinkedIn is a good place.
Yeah,
Or you can email me at aviancesturgis@gmail.com. But Aviance Sturgis, the website will be up and available soon. And I will update everybody on LinkedIn as well when it is available.
So see, connect with her on LinkedIn so you can get
Yes.
her updates. She can keep you in the know and really start changing because I think you and I have been doing a lot of business changes this year. So I'm super excited and proud to see you grow, see you flourish, and see you help others
Thank
get their life together.
Yes.
It's been an amazing thing to see. Um, Carl, where can
Yeah.
people hook up and connect with you? Because I got one more question for Avi, but I want people to know how to connect with you because you do
Uh,
other things right now.
I'm just doing that. Doing that. A lot of people can connect with me on LinkedIn, Carl S. Watkins one on LinkedIn. I'll be faithful to that, been faithful to that, been on the ground with that for the past 2 years. Thank God for that platform. Also, September, I'll be light on that platform because I'll be starting 2L. And for all you law students out there, understand that that's second year law. Civil rights attorney is still back there behind me, but it'll soon be past me. So I look forward to that. Look for me also on this beautifully manifested and created website that, yes, I did delve into because she got to let everybody know every show. So I'm going to just say it. I did bother pictures and redo it on the website. I wasn't micromanaging. I just tried to be creative on this wonderful website that Charlene Brown done for me, carlseanwatkins.com. Go on there, see some of the great things that we're doing. Book with me. We got this vulnerability sessions that we're doing beginning the month of September. That's something that I just written up a few weeks ago, and I said, I'm going to pass this information on to some people because they definitely need. I also got the course coming up within. I think I should be looking at about a month or so for the vulnerability toolbox, where we're going to give leaders the options of learning how to lead through vulnerability. It's not going to
Mhm.
be. We're not back there. This is post-pandemic leadership is what we're going to, and that's what it's going to be divine. And I also got a vulnerability workshop that's coming up as well. So those are just some of the key things I got. So be on the lookout for those at the website. They'll be popping up for you also, and they'll be on LinkedIn as well. And the podcast, somebody just nudged me and told me, yeah, you had a podcast a long time ago, dude. You better refresh. So I'm refreshing Carl Sean's Daily Word, the podcast. You can catch that on Apple, Spotify, all of your podcast arenas. So we're just doing it. We're just doing it. We love what we're doing. Charlene, it's on you, Charlie.
Yeah, so what I've been doing is helping a lot of business owners, especially women business owners, get their businesses aligned with their websites, with their online strategies. And through that, we are getting people more clear on how they want people to actually interact with them on their websites so they can increase those web conversions. And for all of those who were interested in actually building that with me and getting ready so you can work with someone like Aviance, you can hit me up at BK Custom Design, BrooklynCustomDesigns.com, or you can hit me on Instagram too or LinkedIn. So I can drop those links to you and we can actually book a session together. My prices have gone up because they have been successful sessions. So I'm super excited about that. But yo, just jump on in, get yourself ready for 2022 because that's literally around the corner. People are planning right now for Black Friday. So
Absolutely.
let's plan for January 2022. So you are actually entering the new year with a plan, a strategy, and you're not fumbling around and trying to scramble. Because by the time Aviance come in, she don't want to scramble. She want to hit the ground running.
Right.
And if you're
So
working with anybody with Charlene, ain't just not about that scrambling. If you don't have it down in the notebook in your note sections on your phone, I'll tell you right now, just get a head start because I
Yeah.
had a lot of stuff that I had scrambled and we
Yeah.
had to put it together in an omelet. So
because it's not even and it's not even about the about you having it all pretty and packaged because I'm one of those people. If I hire a cleaning service, I'm gonna clean my house first and then I'm gonna bring y'all in, which kind of defeats the purpose, but that's just me. I have a sickness, but that's okay. But it's about knowing that you actually know at least know what it is that they need to handle. So if you can write down that list, like Aviance mentioned earlier, if you're writing down the list of things you need to tackle, if you need to get your email list to 1,000, if you need to get your CRM together because your labels aren't even categorized properly, or you don't have the right labels, or if you need to get a workflow or automation together, at least you can write that down. And by the time you reach out to Aviance, by the time you reach out to OBM, by the time you have someone help you hire to bring into your organization is already on the road to being structured, because you don't want people to come in and you're not structured. You don't even have a mission. So everybody's starting to create, because that's what really happens when you come into something that's not formulated. You start to form your own, and you don't want that in your business. You don't want that. So I just wanted to put a question out to you. What has been your favorite productivity tools and resources that really help you bring business owners' lives together, that really help you help them focus and get structured?
Are you asking a best tool for me to help them, or or something I recommend for them?
Give me one of each, because
Okay.
that's a good one.
For me, one of my favorite tools to use to really manage everything, honestly, is ClickUp. It
Mm,
can be used for project management. It can be used for CRM. It's extremely powerful, and it's a lifesaver. And I honestly would a lot of stuff would slip past me if I didn't have that, honestly, because like you can't keep all of it in here. It's
right.
not possible, especially when you're managing your own and then other people's. So you can't do that. So I recommend ClickUp for myself. I always use that one. When it comes to other people, I have a couple recommendations, because it really just a matter of what you feel works best for you. Because you might try something, you might try without ClickUp, like for me, but it might be too much. It might be too much going on. You might need something a little bit more simple. Somebody might like Asana more. Somebody might like Basecamp more. Somebody might like Honeybook. There's all different types of software and programs and websites that somebody might like versus another one. So I have a bunch of them that I always try to recommend, and I'll a lot of times, if they don't know about some, I'll also recommend some more so they can take a look at them themselves. Say, okay, you have this one going for yourself right now. You might be using Asana right now, but here, check out ClickUp. Check out this one. Check these out. See if you like these, because you did say you didn't really like these things that were going on in Asana. So these don't have those problems. So a lot of times I'll do that based off of if they already have one, if they don't have any idea. It just varies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Love that. Because I've started to really hone in also, aside from making sure you have a game plan, making sure you have a mission. I started to hone in on, if you can understand what your process is,
Mhm.
um, how can then you can pretty much find the proper technology, because everybody, like you said, you're going to have your preference,
Yep.
and every platform is going to do what it has to do. You just have to figure out, and I think it's easier to find the technology that fits your process rather than making your process fit the technology.
Exactly. And that, because I've been doing this for so long, especially as a virtual assistant, I've come across so many, because I've had to take on whatever the customer or the client was using, so that a lot of times I would learn on the fly, so that that's a new tool I would know how to use for the future. So I
Yeah.
took advantage of those things. And that's how I even got introduced to ClickUp. I got introduced to ClickUp like over a year ago when I was working with another client, and that was what she was using. And she was actually using Teamwork, and then she was transitioning over to ClickUp, and then I got introduced to it, and I was like, this is amazing. But like I said, just it's just there's so many different types, and so it's just a matter of seeing what works for you and your needs and what you require.
Right. And can you confirm the spelling of ClickUp? Because Martin on the ball, he's trying to
Yeah, that's my
confirm
man's in them. Yeah.
how to spell that so he can look it
Yeah,
up.
it's spelled like how it sounds, and it's all one word, so it's ClickUp.
Okay, so he got it. All right.
You got it right. Yep.
Perfect, perfect. So one more time for those who want to connect with Aviance, the best place, hit her up on LinkedIn so she can give you all the info, all the deeds, all the goodies.
Oh, the
Um,
411, hon.
Yeah.
okay, let's see. um, and I'll also, I already bounced this idea off of my co-host. I would love to bring you back on for a panel, because I have another OBM I think is amazing as well. So to have you two bouncing off ideas and really giving the people some more in-depth background and theory, and showing how two different OBMs who do the same thing, just a different approaches, how that looks. Because just like with processes and technology, there's never always just one person, right? There's a lot of work that can be had in this world.
Right.
So if you have to team up with the right people, and if you can find two great people, because I found two great OBMs who can actually give you the information, tune in. We're going to do this. We're going to figure out a day where we can have a panel discussion. I think we already told Shakita she's on panel discussion for something else.
Absolutely.
So that's just how we do. It flows in our head. We pop it up together, and we're going to make those announcements soon that we're going to start really doing panel discussion. So then you guys can really start to generate and let the ideas flow, so people can really see the differences, and knowing that there's never one set way to do things. You just need to know how to get it done, and who the people who can really mesh and blend with your organization. So I love that. Anything else y'all wanted to get out there? Any last tips or thoughts, or a nice word of encouragement you want to lead the people, Aviance?
Yes. For any of you guys that are feeling overwhelmed, reach out. Reach out. That's what we do. This is what we do. We want to make sure that you can definitely enjoy running your business and not feel so overwhelmed that it feels exhausting. That's not fun. It's not exciting. Takes the passion away from really kind of running your business. So reach out, whether preferably me. But if you need some assistance, definitely reach out to somebody, because you're not going to see the growth you really want to see until you do. And we all need help. All of our dreams take extra hands.
Exactly. I love it. I see Carl and his internet having a fight again, but that's okay. We at the end. I just want to thank everyone who came through, who gave some feedback, who participated. We always love you guys for doing that. And Aviance, thank you again for being on our show and being amazing. We will make sure that we not only drop your link in the chat, but we will also make sure that we connect you with more people, because you are just somebody who needs to be out there shining. So thank you again for being on the show. All right, everybody, it's a wrap. We're done for today. We will see you Thursday with another amazing guest. Can't wait to talk to you guys then. Later.